had sent out a note to families saying, hey, there was a bear spotted by several people in the neighborhood this morning. Be careful as you're bringing your kiddos to school, as that school is only 3-4 blocks away from where we're live right now. But yeah, so the bear went up a tree. D.C. police were on scene. Neighbors were there. Animal Rescue came out, Humane Rescue Alliance, Smithsonian National Zoo, and everyone was kind of just waiting. They left the bear alone for several hours, and it was hanging out in someone's tree in their backyard for a little over 3 hours. And then just after 10 o'clock this morning, the bear kind of woke up, saw everyone, and decided to make its way down the tree. Officials on the scene had to chase it around some backyards for a while, and then we're told they tranquilized it safely, of course, and then were able to load the bear onto the back of the truck that you're seeing right now. And so now we're just kind of waiting to hear from officials on what's next. Where are they going to take the bear? Make sure that it's okay, possibly see if they can try to find out where it came from. We know that there were bear sightings in Hyattsville, in Prince George's County, which is nearby to here, just by a few miles yesterday. And then a couple weeks ago, we had several bear sightings in Upper Northwest, Kensington, I think Bethesda, and that area, Chevy Chase. And so I don't know if this is a new bear now. We know it's the summertime. They're coming out. Dominique, can you kind of show us if Indira, if she can kind of pan and we can see how many people are standing around watching this scene unfold?
Yeah, so I mean, you see everyone that have been seen the last couple of minutes, but we're trying to make sure that we can show you a little bit maybe wider view, but still staying at where we're focusing at. But it seems like, for the most part, a lot of the people are on the other side of the tape. So,
is this an interview right here, Dominique? What's this interview? Can we listen in?
Yes. Police to coexist, and so we don't have a lot of details to share right now, but obviously this was a situation that we didn't expect this morning. But I'm happy that we have a really incredible collaborative environment here in the district where my animal control officers, the D.C. Metropolitan Police, D.C. Fire, the Smithsonian Zoo, Maryland DNR are all able to collaborate so that we could safely sedate the bear so that he could go off and live a happy life.
How does it look to you? How does it look to you, the bear?
Oh, he looks healthy. One of my staff was able to dart him. We actually do chemical capture for a lot of other situations in the district, so we were able to utilize our chemical capture equipment to safely dart him so that we could relocate him.
It looked like initially when he was up on the tree that he was trying, or he or she was trying to get down, the police blared their sirens to keep it up. Did you not want it down out of the tree initially?
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping to get all the right pieces into place, right? This isn't something we deal with normally as bears in the district, and so we needed some of the other equipment to be closer by, to be able to, once we sedated him, so that we could get him loaded. You see the truck from the zoo, so that we could get him loaded, because what our hope was that we could sedate him so that it could be reversed. So we wanted to sedate him with the right amount of drugs so that he would be able to be reversed, so that he could wake up and be relocated.
Would you ever shoot it while it was up in a tree?
Can
you do that? We were wondering.
So we could sedate in a tree. I mean, that's not something that we would have wanted to do. We would have done it if it, in an extreme circumstance. But we were hopeful that he was starting to rouse. That once he came down, my staff practice and train continuously with chemical capture equipment, and so much like this situation, we were able to, with one dart, be able to safely sedate.
Can you explain what happened, where he was, and how he was, and how you tranquilized him?
He came over from Maryland. I'm sure everyone's seen all the stories. He's been once
he came down from the tree, where did he walk?
He had just walked maybe a half a block, just up and around the corner onto 13th Street, where we were all monitoring. Metropolitan Police has been incredible to set up a perimeter, right, so that we could create a safe environment to let him just mosey around while we were monitoring, so that we could prepare to take the proper shot.
Is this do you believe it's a safe bear?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think we believe it is. Yeah.
Really?
Had y'all been preparing for this, that it might come this way after you learned about Hyattsville?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have discussed it. Because, and this isn't the first bear, right? We had one some years ago, right? This isn't the first one. It probably won't be the last, and so it is something we're aware of, and we prepare for. Much like we have equipment that can handle and drugs that can handle all these different situations. We're always prepared for something a little bit unusual. and we
And
were
can
monitoring.
you
Just tell her
what happened?
I just want to tell her your name. Your name is, sir?
Chris Schindler. I'm the Vice President of Field Services at Humane Rescue Alliance.
Spell
Can
your
you
last
explain
name.
what happened?
It's SCHINDLER.
Can you explain what happened? How did the bear react after? Was the bear walking when it was tranquilized, or had it stopped? And
Yeah.
how did the bear end up on the ground?
And so with any sedative, it takes a little bit of time. This is the drug that we use is a fast-acting drug, so maybe within 5 minutes, he was fully sedated so that we could handle him and get him in the right position so that the veterinarian from the Smithsonian could take a look at him before we loaded him for
Where
transport.
is he heading now?
I don't have the exact location, but he'll be relocated to Maryland. So Maryland Department of Natural Resources is here also, which was part of the collaboration, so we could have a secondary stage, right, for him to make it to.
Will it be just
How
living
rare
or will
is
it
No,
be?
no, he'll be released a while.
How old is
How
the
rare?
bear?
I don't. It's a juvenile. I don't know the exact age, but a male younger bear, a juvenile bear.
Is
Yeah.
it common for them to go out on their own? Is this
Yeah. So what we understand from Department of Natural Resources is this is normal behavior for a juvenile male bear is to start exploring territory. I mean, they would be best the answer. I'm not a bear expert, but that's what we understand from them is that this is really normal behavior. And we're so close to Maryland and Virginia, right? We have all these different types of animals that traverse our area often, and so it's not shocking that this would happen.
How much
And
of
they're
a scramble
natural to
was
this
it for you?
area?
Whenever he came down, y'all weren't ready yet.
Well, our officer was on the scene immediately for it, and we had other resources mobilized to at least have our tranquilizer, our first stage of tranquilizer equipment here. And so within a few hours, we had all of the, we had the equipment necessary if we needed to sedate him, I guess what I'll say immediately. The reason why we waited was to make sure that all the other resources were in place so that we could make sure he was safely relocated.
When was the last time a bear was in D.C.? How rare is this?
So I don't remember what year that was, but I mean, it was more than 5 years ago when there was a bear that came into the district that was also relocated safely at that time.
Can you explain
one more time? Just
Sorry?
can you explain to us one more
Yep.
time where exactly is a bear going, and in these cases, where do they typically go?
So, I mean, that's up to Maryland Department of Natural Resources. They're the ones who determine where relocation will take place, but we'll be somewhere in Maryland. So I don't have the specific location.
So this is their natural area. This area here. So
I mean, I'm not the one to answer like what they're, what I mean, like what. I know we have bears all throughout this region. Certainly, we don't have a lot that actually end up in D.C. as why this hasn't happened in many years. But certainly in our region, there's bears. But Department of Natural Resources or DOE would be better.
and there's a number of wild animals in the city. Is that correct? I mean,
Oh yeah, we have a ton of wildlife in the district, and so we try and work with members of the public. I have a certified wildlife rehabilitator, to help people learn to coexist with wildlife because we have such an amazing environment for wildlife to thrive. And while it is the city, they've adapted, and we hope that many of our residents appreciate being able to see so many different types of animals here.
Do you know if the wildfire played any role in him coming down here?
I don't think so. I mean, he had already been. I mean, I think my understanding is this is like a juvenile bear thing to start like searching for other, like searching and exploring.
What's your reminders to the community about situations like
Yeah.
this? What should they do?
And your
to
thoughts on
protect?
how they reacted today.
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever we see, I know wildlife can be, sometimes scary, but they really shouldn't be. I mean, as long as we respect wildlife and keep a distance, bears often do not want to engage with you, much like we've seen in all the videos that have been following him, like throughout other areas. As long as people keep a distance and not crowd them and not try and take pictures with them, people should be safe. But that's one of the things that people need to do is to give them their space.
birds we use in garbage cans.
Yeah, keeping trash, and that's the other thing is, wildlife gets attracted to trash. And so keeping trash cans closed, not having trash and debris outside, because that's for all wildlife, right? Raccoons and coyotes and squirrels and everything else to get into things is if you keep things clean and tidy, then you'll have less conflict.
First enter public spaces.
I mean, he's been seen throughout the region or throughout the area for the past few weeks, like in Hyattsville and other areas. I mean, we just started getting calls this morning that he had actually entered into the district.
What time was that call?
I don't have it immediately with me, but I think it was sometime around 7 a.m. or so, but I don't have the exact time.
The bear was sedated in the cage.
We used our chemical capture equipment and sedated him about just up on the corner there, and then we relocated him to the cage.
of 13th and
Yeah, on 13th. He was
Maybe
in
I
the
missed
yard.
it. Where exactly was the bear tranquilized? Or where did you guys take him down?
Up on 13th, like maybe a house or two down, up on 13th is where we had sedated him.
On 15.
Yeah, on 13th.
Sir, DC50 show. What are you going to do with the bear now?
He's going to be relocated so that he can. So I don't have. It's somewhere in Maryland. Department of Natural Resources will relocate him.
When the bear came down the tree, we were all over there a little panicked.
Yeah.
Were you panicked?
I mean, we do this all the time, right? And so for us, it's not a panic when we see animals because we understand, we understand their behavior. But certainly I can understand, right? It's a big animal, right, that we don't really see normally, and so I can understand the fear factor for people.
Did you expect it to stay up when you were blaring the sirens?
So, I mean, I think Metropolitan Police was trying to help, to try and scare them up. And it did work for a little while. It kept them up there just to give us a little more time, and I think just gave us just the right amount of time.
They used the sirens to keep the bear in the tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were waiting for the cage?
Yeah, we were waiting at least for it to be close, closer. It would have been, best case would be it was here.
Right.
Worst case would be at least close enough that once we sedated him, there was enough time where we wouldn't have to use more drugs because we would really, want to use the least amount of sedation that we could to be able to safely confine him. So.
And sorry, can you spell your name one more time?
It's Chris, C-H-R-I-S, last name Schindler, S-C-H-I-N-D-L-E-R.
And your title?
The Vice President of Field Services at Humane Rescue Alliance.
Spell that last name again, please.
S-C-H-I-N-D-L-E-R.
D as in boy? D.
I got you. So, Jumi, you just heard from the Humane Rescue Alliance, and they have been kind of walking us through some of the details, and they said that this bear will be taken away to a location within Maryland. That's what they just told us. They do say that they wanted to make sure that they did so in a safe manner, not only taking him to the next facility, but also tranquilizing him. I'm going to try to see now if I can maybe find someone else within the neighborhood while they continue to take this bear away inside of this cage. I want to, if just bear with me as Indira stays on our shot.
That's fine. You could do that. I'll just kind of reset things for our viewers here, Dominique, while you continue to gather some more information. But what you're taking a look at here is the Smithsonian National Zoo truck. The bear is in that big silver crate or cage there on the back of the flatbed. And as you heard the gentleman from Humane Rescue Alliance say a moment ago, they're getting ready to take that bear somewhere in Maryland. So they're working with the Department of Natural Resources in Maryland to move that young, he describes it as a juvenile bear, a male juvenile bear. They're going to move him somewhere else. He said, while it's uncommon to see bears in the middle of the city in D.C., it isn't uncommon for them at this time of year to go roaming, kind of explore their independence and freedom, maybe try to find some food. There you see there the truck there on the move, the driver waving there. We thank them and the Smithsonian National Zoo for their hard work. I mean, it was a team effort, collaborative, as you heard them describe. Okay, we've got a police officer on a motorcycle there. Maybe they're getting an escort to the next location. But this took D.C. Police, D.C. Fire and EMS, Maryland Department of Natural Resources, Smithsonian National Zoo, Humane Rescue Alliance. They tranquilized that bear that had been up in the tree. Once it came down, they said they could have tranquilized it in the tree, but no reason to. They created a perimeter, kept everyone safe, and waited for the bear to come down on its own. So, you see the scene here wrapping up. Families there in the street. It's been an exciting morning for them in Northeast D.C. We have all the video and pictures from the scene at NBCWashington.com and in the NBC Washington app. You can check all of that out. But it's been a very interesting situation here in Northeast this morning, a bit of a bear barricade, if you will, as they've been dealing with that. But everyone is okay. The bear there you saw is safe and on its way. The latest coming up on News 4 at 4. There's no mid today at 11 because 11 is the French Open live from Paris. Thanks for joining us for this breaking news coverage. We'll see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
The events of the first one, so you can go right back to where they started. It stars Anthony Ramos and Dominic Fishback. But what I love about this one is, you know how the Transformers are normally like these cars and these vehicles? Yeah. This time around we have beasts. We have these animals. And they're voiced by really great voice actors. Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh voices a falcon. She's very majestic. How cool. And Pete Davidson gets a lot of laughs. He voices a Porsche, and somehow it works, and it's so perfect.
You said?
A Porsche, yes.
All right, not to do home cooking, but let's. So Peacock has something everyone's buzzing about based on a true story.
Based on a true story, and it's actually not based on a true story. So many movies and TV shows are, but it's an 8-episode series, like you said, streaming on Peacock. It stars one of my favorites, Kaylee Cuoco. And for anybody who loves like Only Murders in the Building and they love true crime,
but kind of with humor, right?
This is so funny. She's married to actually Chris Messina's character. She's married to him. He's a former tennis star. He is